No, I was up in Connecticut last week, so I couldn't really do a show, and I wanted to have like something to edit while I was up there and just throw up, but that didn't happen. So yeah, let's start the show.
Okay.
All right. What's up, everybody? I'm Dean.
I'm Mike.
And we're here to talk about stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Do you want to? Should we jump in, or
Let's
we
go
talked
for
before
it.
we talked before the show. We're good. No more small
Yeah.
talk. No more.
None of it.
You want small talk? Talk with other people.
Talk to ants.
This isn't an interactive thing, people. This is not interactive.
You're just
Okay.
going to listen to us, and you're going to like it.
You're going to enjoy this because we told you to. All right. So first off, major news this week: China has formally gotten rid of their one-child policy, which they've had for I don't know how long. It's honestly been one of those things, like I just knew about it for as long as I cared about China, as long as I knew about China, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they finally got rid of that, and as an immediate consequence, condom shares in the stock market have plummeted.
Wow. People want to have kids.
Yeah, who would have fucking thought?
They want to churn them out. You know what's going to be interesting is years from now, you're going to, just like there's like the baby boomer generation where there's this like very large, there's this one generation, right? That's like all these people came back from the war and like all these babies happened at the same time. So now there's all these adults who are like reaching the same milestones in life at the same time. And it's like making an impact on like, so this is going to be the same for them. Like, years from now, there's gonna be like.
Well, you know what fucking terrifies me? China's got 2 billion people, and now they're just going to pop out even more kids. I think there was like, what? I don't even know if like the population was declining at all.
How did they make this decision? Like, was it voted by
I think
Parliament
it was just mandated.
or something?
I think it was just mandated.
They're just
like, okay, there's
they
too
don't...
many friggin' people. Let's just hold back for a little bit. And then I think it was basically like they just wanted boys, so they did horrific stuff if they got a daughter.
Yeah, like drown the baby.
Yeah, wow. This was a really light note to start.
I mean, if
you
consider though, like it's your one child, and they're going to be absorbed into another family, and like your family name is going to just vanish because that's the only child you're ever going to have. I don't know. It's just. I could see like people freaking out, but I don't know.
I guess, but I think that also like contributed to other problems. Like since there were so many males being born, or at least males being kept,
there's like no women in China.
There was like no women,
no eligible bachelorettes.
Is that why they decided to just reverse this policy? They're like, okay, we're just having sons.
I remember hearing that they had like a lot of the rural villages. Had the town was all boys. Like there were no daughters. Everybody had a son, and so like girls would have to come in from out of town to like.
Wait, I'm looking at like this. I could have sworn China was 2 billion people, right? I mean, you've heard that statistic before, right?
I'm gonna investigate this right now. What's up?
This article is telling me that China is the world's most populous country with almost 1.4 billion people. Maybe I'm thinking it was 2 billion Christians in the world, and China just happens to have, like, a lot of people.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I'm looking at Google. Google is telling me 1.357 billion as of 2013.
Oh, shit. Well, okay. Well, can you pull up some numbers? Like, what was it before that? Just give me the Wikipedia.
Actually, yeah. I can tell you. Which year would you like to know? You have a favorite year?
Will you just give me the one with the most?
The most is current.
Really?
Yeah. The latest data point is 2013.
Shit. Okay, so maybe I was wrong this entire time.
It's a steady rise, yeah.
And you know what? The only reason that I'm basing that whole 2 billion Christians thing is because it was like in a poster in my 9th grade world studies class. So I don't even know if that's accurate anymore. Probably is. But, wow, though, seriously.
The world is a crazy place. I wonder what their plan is with that, though. They want to have a bigger population now?
So you're telling me with families only allowed to have one child, which is supposed to curb the population, they're still at the most they've ever been?
Yes. But okay, to be fair, like the United States, India, all these countries, there's a lot of countries, like most countries are not going down, I guess.
Yeah, but still.
Like I think our birth rate is down, but our population is still growing or something like that.
Oh yeah, because people are living longer? Is that why?
Yeah, I mean 1960 we had 180 million. 1970 we had 205 million. 1980 226. 1990 250, something like that. 280 by 2000. 309 by 2010. So it's not like we're shooting up, but like
I think
it's a slow but steady increase. Yeah.
No, it's still that's just frightening. Do you think there's going to be like a spike in China's population?
I don't know.
Because now they're just like, yeah, we had this one child for a while. We really wanted a second one, and I guess some people said it was okay. I think I remember there was you had to like pay a fine if you wanted to have a second child.
Yeah,
so only the rich could have more than one.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of what was it back in the days of indulgences with the church. Like you could sin if you could afford it.
Yeah,
you know?
Actually, it reminds me of this book I remember reading when I was like in 6th grade or something. It was like families were only allowed to have 2 kids. This family had like a third one, so he basically had to like live in the attic.
Oh my god!
And it was weird to me because I think this book was written back in like the BBS days of the internet. Yeah. So he somehow had an internet connection and found a forum with like other thirdborns. I forget the fucking name of it, but it was it was kind of horrifying. My
question though is, let's say you're born in China. Let's say a woman has 2 children and then she becomes pregnant. And she gives birth to a baby. What happens to that baby if it's just like known that it's...
Oh god, I have no fucking clue.
Like what happens if you just have more children? What happens if you break that law? What happens to those children? Like what happens to you? That's crazy. I don't know.
Well, you know what? That's why I am glad
nobody knows.
Comfortably living in my home on Long Island and not in China. I never want to have that kind of discussion. And you know what? I don't think there's ever been any talk of like limiting the population here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think we're okay with that. If we are ever crowded, we'll probably start telling people to move to Montana or something.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we're all living longer, so it's an inevitability that like it's going to get more crowded.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the problem with the nursing homes.
But then
that's not present Dean's problem. That's future Dean's problem.
Yeah,
we'll worry about that later.
Yeah, I think
as much as it's great that people are living longer, it's kind of bad, isn't it?
There's a lot of people who can't take care of themselves anymore after a certain age, and that really is.
But that's
something we don't
multiplied
have, like,
by so many other people. Like, if you basically become inept and unable to take care of yourself by like 85, and you're probably going to live to like 105. That's 20 years of someone else taking care of you.
And we don't have like the infrastructure for that. It's like
no, we don't.
But I mean, other places China's suffering with that too, right?
Yeah, I think when there's more old people, I think everyone suffers. So sorry, Grandpa.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, I don't have a grandpa anymore.
Mm.
I can make that joke, people. No, I can't. That's still bad. It's a very uncomfortable conversation to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course you do. We were just talking about this.
You know what's interesting though?
What?
Oh, I guess it was the law.
Tell me what is interesting, Mike.
Okay. This graph here showing me that back in the 60s there were 5.89 births per woman in China.
Holy shit. Okay, I can understand why they did the whole one-child thing then.
So most women were having about 6 children.
Holy fucking shit.
That's the fertility rate, I guess. And it goes up past 6 in the 60s. But then, as of like the 90s...
That's Duggar family numbers. Like, fuck.
Yeah, in the 90s and 2000s, it drops to like 1.5.
Yeah, I can definitely see why,
yeah.
why China officials said, "Hey, cut that shit out. We can't do this anymore."
So people were having like 6 kids.
Yeah, and that's why they have the whole older population. Like, I think we have like the modest like 3 children per family. So of course there's going to be a larger older population. But I think China just had to like deal with that. Like, oh fuck, now we got a lot of old people. What do we do?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I could see myself as a Chinese official just being like, fuck! What are we gonna do with all these old people? And they're just like looking at me like, what?
I don't know. It's just, I feel like as countries get more developed, people tend to...
Well, priorities change, at least.
They have less kids, right? And more developed countries have much lower birth rates.
Or maybe they're just like, well, I think they just like keep on with the status quo. Like, okay, my family had I had 4 kids in my family. My fiance was the 4th child. In all honesty, we're probably going to have 4 kids if we decide to have children. Like, that might happen just because that's what we've known.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like whatever you had before, that might just keep happening.
That's true. It could be more like part of a ingrained culture thing, that it's like desirable to have a bunch of kids.
So what grabbed me about the story was like
the
condom shares fell, and like any, if your type E is, the fucking Kevin Spacey, was that it?
Say again?
The actor from the E-Trade commercials.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, was that Kevin Spacey?
Was he in E-Trade commercials? I have no idea.
Yeah, he just kind of like pops on. Yeah, it's Kevin Spacey. He pops on as someone's looking at like something in Best Buy, and he's like, "Oh, you see that there's a growing interest in it, and you're looking to invest. You're Type E." And then he just acts smarmy for the next 30 seconds, and you're like, "Shut the fuck up." But like any Type E would know, when condom shares fell, everything else that involved family care like grew. So diapers, prams, baby milk, anything to do with rearing a kid, that like grew. So if anyone was following the stock market and you didn't know this, I'm sorry to say you missed it. Or maybe it's still gonna happen. I don't know. I don't do the stock market. That's always been like one of those things. Like, I don't think I could keep up with that. You know what I mean? You got to be a certain kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I actually met a guy in college once that he was like 18 and he was like following the stock market. I'm like, shit, dude, you're ahead of the game. I just kind of want to play video games in my room.
It's a lot of variables.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's being aware of the world while also looking at numbers. Mm-hmm. And I can only do one of those things at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to be like that. I kind of want to be like that guy from that movie Limitless. Basically, be on cocaine.
Be like just super powered by pills.
It's just like, like how was he able to? Oh my god! Well, of course it was the movie, and it was basically cocaine. So
yeah.
Here, try this NZT drug, and it was like just cocaine. Pretty sure that's what they were going for anyway. All right, shall we move on?
Let's get to the
ironic story of our show. So, a salon worker froze to death during cryotherapy days after she was boasting about its healthy properties and how safe it was.
Oh my god.
Oh my fucking god.
What is cryotherapy, first of all? This is
I think it's basically an ice bath.
Okay.
She froze to death during this, and she's actually she's in a witch costume. I'm seeing the tweet here. And the tweet says, "At Rejuvenance to test the cryotherapy chamber, taking the ice bath into the future. Minus 240 degrees Fahrenheit temps treat pains." Holy shit.
What? Why would you go in that? I don't know.
It's an unorthodox treatment becoming more familiar. Some say cryotherapy, which entails exposing the body to sub-zero temperatures, can have great benefits, particularly after traditional facial and moisture treatment. Why did we think this was a good idea?
False. This is not good. I would never do this.
Oh my fucking god!
Wait, that was so negative 200 and what?
240 degrees Fahrenheit!
Oh my god.
Holy... Why?
The freezing point of water.
This is
Your body's
medical examiners
temperature.
told her family she died in seconds. Of course she fucking did. She froze.
Who made this?
She had reportedly been in the machine for more than 10... For fuck's sake! Who was in charge of this machine where she was able to stay there for 10 hours after she died?
Well, I guess, I mean, it's
That's like the
it's
like
better
the
than just
carny
leaving her
at the
out.
carnival, like managing the machine that like does the tilt-a-whirl, and like he's letting people ride on there for hours.
But like, if if somebody died in a tanning bed, I don't think you would move the body. Like, you would just kind of call until somebody would come to her. I don't know.
I think there would be like a timer at least, you know, just kind of like an egg timer at least, saying like 10 minutes. All right, your time's up. Just oh shit, she's dead. Next person.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's so crazy. Can you imagine?
What?
Like,
wait a minute.
Your body's
hold on.
core temperature is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
And you feel fucking chilly when it's 60 degrees outside.
Yeah, like your body, it maintains that temperature most. You know, it takes. Oh my gosh, the freezing point of water is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. You're exposing yourself to negative 240.
Oh my god. Did she
Are
have
you,
a
like-
suicide wish? Because
Like,
I
you
think she
can't-
did this by herself. I think that, like, we just solved a piece of the puzzle here.
Your body can't.
Her friend said, I do know she was alone closing the shop up, then did go into the machine and apparently did not turn it off. I would be surprised if there wasn't, like, some sort of suicide note. Because that's not a smart thing to do.
Oh, I see. So it must be very brief or something. You know what I mean? Or you're not directly exposed to it or something. You're just near it. I don't know.
Like, who thinks this is a good idea?
Like, maybe you can withstand it for like a few minutes of exposure or something. But
yeah, but who looks at people that like are climbing Everest or something, or like going on these high altitude expeditions, or even shit to Antarctica and said, you know what? If I went in there in a bikini and like prance around outside for a couple of minutes,
like
that will do wonders for my skin. I want to know the thought process. Who designed this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could see, like, we have saunas where the temperature can get very high.
Yeah,
and it's not like, safe for you to be in there for very long. Like, you could die if you just stayed in there.
And I know there's actually been, like, a new treatment due to that. And the only reason I know is because my fiance's mother is, like, she tries all these alternative things. So when I heard about this, I'm like, okay, I need to do some investigating. Mm-hmm. It's an infrared sauna. Apparently the temperature doesn't go up very much, but they shoot you with, like, infrared rays, and it heats up your internal temperature. Yeah. So you physically don't get hot, but your body feels
it. Cooking yourself.
Yeah, you're cooking yourself. That's basically it. And
you're basically in a weak infrared oven.
Yeah, basically. And like the health benefits that she was talking about, I'm like, no, that's not true. But
it's
I guess
all bullshit.
Yeah. No, believe me. But do I sound like someone that's going to be trying cryotherapy anytime soon? Whether or not this person would have lived?
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess what happened is she probably just lost her faculties. Like, she probably just faded out and wasn't able to get herself out or something in time.
That just doesn't seem like a...
Just kind of sort of passed out in there, like, you know.
So apparently,
froze to death.
Only rational people like us think this is a bad idea because, according to many salons and pro athletes, the treatment is good for you.
I mean, maybe if you have somebody else can just, like, watching you and putting you in for just the right amount of time or something. Because I know, like, when people start to like your mind can become sluggish, right? And you start to like
Yeah, you basically
people
go through
who died on
hypothermia.
Everest. Yeah.
Well, you go through hypothermia after like exposed cold. So,
like you start losing.
Would that even trigger if you basically flash froze your body?
I don't know. I don't know how fast how long it would take for that to make her frozen.
So apparently LeBron James has incorporated cryotherapy into his routine daily.
Daily.
Fairly simple process, takes less than 3 minutes.
I would not enjoy that. Also, I don't want to be cold. You know.
The warm-up chamber is set at minus 76. So they spend 30 seconds in there before walking through a glass door with a wooden handle into a little bit bigger chamber where the temperature is minus 166. We spend a long 2 minutes in there.
I guess it's like decompression after diving or something. Like you don't want to shock yourself back into a...
What is this supposed to fucking accomplish?
Like when you come out of your room in the morning or something and it's dark and you flip the light on and your eyes are just... Whoa, like you need to dim that light.
Let's see. There is weak evidence from controlled studies that whole body cryotherapy enhances antioxidant capacity and parasympathetic reactivation, alters inflammatory pathways relevant to sports recovery. Okay, sports recovery, maybe. I guess.
It's interesting. I don't know.
Really, though? Your mind is telling you I might die.
Like, I feel like it's...
Of course it fucking
it reminds me,
You're
for some reason, of tanning. And I just feel like, what if you owned a tanning salon and you decided to go tan and, like, you forgot to set the timer or something and you just fell asleep in there? And died?
What's wrong with taking a cold fucking shower, people? How many people have froze to death during cold showers?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Crazy. You have to really get in the mindset that it's invigorating and not that you're cold.
You have to convince yourself that it's not something to hurt you because every fiber in your body is screaming, "This is killing me," and you're doing it anyway. This is torture. I could seriously see this being fucking torture.
I think like they're the children that ended up getting raised by wolves or whatever, like people that were raised in the wild, have they like don't care about the cold. Like I think a lot of their nerves get killed.
Yeah, they're deadened to it, or like they're used to it. You know what this reminds me of?
Roll around in the snow with no clothes on and just be like, yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? There used to be like this TV show, kind of like Minute to Win It. Like, you know, one of those things where people do dumb things in order to like win more money. There was like this chamber that people were in, and they're like, "Are you going to go in the hot chamber or the cold chamber?" And the longer you were in there, it either got hotter or colder. And they kept asking you like trivia questions during all of it. And the more when you answered, if you got like 3 wrong or something, you were out of the chamber, and that's it. You're game over. But if you stayed in the chamber and you kept getting questions right, they kept turning the heat more to the extreme.
Oh man.
And I remember, like, the striking image I remember was, they ask you simple questions when it gets extreme. Like, what's the name of that Nickelodeon character who is a sponge? What does he wear? And it's like, square pants. One of the answers was blue tie. And the guy was like, he was this black guy, he's freezing, like it's several degrees, it's like unsafe for him to be in there, and he just like screams blue tie and the game is over. I'm like, and we're like looking at him like, idiot, it's square pants. But now I'm remembering, how lucid are you when you're basically being tortured? I would say whatever the fuck I could to get out of there.
You know what it is? It's basically like a game show where you have no limits, right? Like you can...
Yeah, basically, you're limitless.
You can just keep answering and getting things wrong, and it's going to be okay? Or you have to...
No, I think you still have to get correct answers, but they still make it harder for you to progress. But they also had like doctors there on the show saying like, yeah, pull him out. He can't stay in there for much longer.
Wow.
I want that show back on TV.
Crazy.
I want that show back on TV, and I want the Glutton Bowl to be on TV again. Did you see that shit?
I did not see it. The Glutton Bowl, are these like food competitive eaters?
Yeah, it's competitive. It was competitive eaters. I think I only saw it once because it was only on television once. And they just had them go through all of these fucking food challenges, like how many hot dogs you could stuff down your gullet, how much of this sandwich you can eat.
Oh my gosh. I always feel like that's such a... I don't know.
No, it's glorifying something that we shouldn't, but
like,
it's still entertaining.
I don't think
watch.
It would be enjoyable to like have to train for that or do it, and like it must feel terrible, like after you've just eaten a huge amount of food, and it's like the same food. It's like hot dogs. Like you didn't eat something. I don't know.
Like, dude,
who wants to eat 60 hot dogs?
No one. No one wants to. No one wants to eat 60 hot dogs. But there are people that will eat 60 hot dogs if it meant they could win.
Ugh.
But speaking of hot dogs, and not at all influenced, because like I do want the Glutton Bowl back on TV just because I want to see people eat exorbitant amounts of food.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's for my personal enjoyment. And the enjoyment of those around me. I don't make weird noises. I just want to cheer someone on.
Oh, I heard Kobayashi. He describes after like winning an event where he eats like the record-breaking number of Nathan's hot dogs, his sweat. He said he just like sweated immediately after eating them all, and his sweat was like hot dogs. Like
no, because your body
water,
is
like,
your body. Yeah. It's a workout. Your body is basically exerting all of its energy to digest all of the hot dogs you just ate.
Oh my god.
If I had to do that, I would probably be taking the KOL approach, being like, okay, well, there's room in my lungs, right? I'll just put a hot dog in there. Do I really want to consume another hot dog? All right, let me grind it into a paste and put it as a salve. But okay, so apparently, as much as the sausage principle is invoked with hot dogs, where you don't want to find out, if you love it, you don't find out how it's made, we have some terrible news for you people. So please skip ahead if you don't want to find out. Your hot dog or veggie dog may have an unintended special ingredient, human DNA. And I'm not talking like Harold and Kumar here. I'm pretty sure it's like human whatever.
Fingernails.
Maybe, yeah. Well, it's like, if we want to get back to Upton Sinclair in the jungle. Oh my god, are we being cultural in this podcast? Are we being learned? Holy
I read
shit.
that book.
Yeah, I read it too.
It was fun. It was crazy. Oh.
God, my teachers would be so proud of me if they could hear me now.
There's one passage that always gets quoted about the dead bloated rats and all the stuff in the milk and the meat.
Well, production during that time, people lost limbs because they were basically just pushing into the machines.
Yeah. Oh, my leg got lopped off.
Put a peg in it and get back to work.
Yeah.
So, Clear Food, a food analysis company, recently examined 345 hot dogs and sausages, and according to the report, the company found human DNA in 2% of the products tested. Now, that's pretty significant, even though 2% doesn't seem like that much.
But their sample size is small, I think.
I think so too. Well, if they judged all of the hot dogs in the nation, I'm sure like 2% is still like a huge amount. It's like when Purell says they'll kill like 99.99% of germs.
Yeah.
And then you find out there's like billions of bacteria on your hands.
Yeah.
Like that's still a lot of bacteria left, even though it's still like a tiny amount.
Yeah.
So according to the report, 2% of the products had human DNA, and 2/3 of the human DNA samples were from vegetarian dogs.
Yeah.
So even if you're trying to do the right thing according to your creed, you are still eating animal product.
It's not like somebody died and fell in there, though. I think it's like...
Is it, though?
I think it's just like hair and...
Are you sure, though?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't know. Think people are just falling in meat and they're just cranking it out, like selling it.
We went through that one time.
Yeah.
So, report also notes that 14% of the samples, which came from 75 brands and 10 different retailers, were problematic in some way.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to swear off hot dogs for a while just because of that statement.
But
you don't want to hear your food being described as
test?
problematic.
They tested 300 and something hot dogs, 306 or something.
I guess so, yeah. It's just like a random sampling from 75 brands and 10 retailers. So you're basically only getting like a couple of hot dogs from each.
Yeah. I still think they should use more. Like, it doesn't feel like...
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like a very scientifically
like they need to have like
study.
Over what 1,000 something, 1,500 or 1,800.
Yeah, to make it significant. Well, according to statistics, the sample size was larger than 30, so I guess we could use a regular bell curve.
It seems bad that if they
if you randomly took 3 hot dogs from a brand,
yeah,
and found out that like there's a significant chance that it's problematic, I think that's still reflective of a lot of it. It might be a bad batch, it might be, but just to randomly take hot dogs,
yeah, like I'm taking one package of hot dogs from 75 different companies. The package I get has human DNA in it. See, but that's like human DNA is like it's not like I want to know like
it's not flesh.
How many?
It's not necessarily flesh. It could be hair. It could be fingernail. It could be semen. But it could be anything as long as it came from a human body. Vom. Oh God! Don't ruin hot dogs for me. You know, the more you say things, like the more
into the machine.
You know, every word that you say is adding on another month to my self-imposed hot dog ban.
You know what's like in hot dogs anyway? Though it's like all the things that, like the tail, like the gums of the pig, like.
Well, it's the parts that people
blood
just
and
it can't be eaten by itself, so they grind it up.
Yeah. But it's a lot of things like you wouldn't want to eat.
But I think what also is shocking, like they found traces of meat in 10% of the vegetarian products. So even if it wasn't human DNA that they found in there, it's still 10% of them had meat in them. So it's like how the IKEA meatballs apparently had horse meat in there, and that like offended religions. Yeah,
that was a weird moment.
It was a weird moment, but it was still a delicious one. I still had IKEA meatballs shortly after. But I'm not the one eating vegetarian hot dogs here, so that doesn't matter to me.
It's interesting that people with, certain animals people bond with more and they are not willing to eat them.
Let's see. Okay, so
versus
if you're...
I don't have people that are like, I don't have to deal with seeing this cow getting killed. I can just pick up the package.
So if you're still with us on all this and you're like thinking, are there any hot dogs that are safe because I'm Kobayashi and I have standards? They did name out the hot dogs that tested the best. So if you don't hear a brand that you like on here, avoid them like the fucking plague. So, Butterball, McCormick, Eckrich, Hebrew National, Gardein, and apparently Oscar Mayer's Premium Jumbo Beef Franks, which I think has at least one too many words for it to sound safe, took the title of Top Dog. So that was the highest quality and good value in a high visibility national brand. So
that sounds rigged.
I guess avoid Black Bear and Ballpark. I guess.
See if they... Yeah.
Oh God. Those were my favorite ones too. Shit.
Whatever. You cook it.
Shut up!
You know how much hair is probably in a hot dog?
I don't want to know how much hair is in a hot dog.
So little. It's probably like an eyelash or something that fell into one thing.
Waiter, there's an eyelash in my hot dog. God, though, like, wow, shit. I'm actually kind of regretting that we reported on that. It's for the best. It's for the best, people.
I feel like I would be worried if it was like parts. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
like,
if you found an entire tooth in a hot dog, I'd have questions.
There's a bunch of things that get in there too that have government controlled like allowances. Like, so you can have a certain amount of insect parts in your hot dogs.
Yeah,
because it's inevitable. that will happen, which is crazy. But
well, to be honest, if I found an entire tooth inside my hot dog, I don't even know how mad I would be. I would basically be impressed. That like tooth wanted to not be ground up. Oh god, I'm fucking ruining it for myself now. Shit. Oh.
Just don't eat hot dogs for a while.
I'm not going to. Why did I pick that out? Crap. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about another different food. How about that?
Okay.
Here, you take the helm on this one. I need to stop my stomach from turning.
Let's talk about a food. Have you had banh mi?
No, I haven't.
You haven't had this. It's a Vietnamese sandwich. It's kind of weird. It's like having a hero, but it's totally different. It's got like cilantro in it and pickled vegetables.
Oh shit, speaking of cilantro, I was getting soup this one time. And it's already a hectic place. It's like in the building that I'm working at. So there's like 3 different lines. I have no idea which one I'm supposed to be in. So I eventually find the soup line. And I guess it was like scallop and bacon. So immediately, so I'm seeing the added things that they could throw in there.
Yeah.
And they had like tomato chunks, they had spices, they had cheese if you wanted that, and I notice there's green onions. And I'm like, okay, bacon goes well with green onions go well with scallops. This can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So I said, can I have a cup of the scallop and bacon? And could you also throw green onions in there? And he fucking puts in cilantro, which for some reason is right next to the green onions.
And did you catch this, or like did you take it?
I took it because I'm like, well, fuck. He already handed it to me. I can't. It's already like a stressful situation because like there's already so many lines. I only have so much time for lunch. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll just pick it out later.
Busy. Yeah, I hate that.
But curiosity gets the better of me, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it's still a spice, right? Can't be that bad. It was horrendous.
Yeah,
just imagine having like a
flavor.
a pinch of cilantro in your mouth with anything else. Like, it is overpowering as shit.
Yeah, I mean, I can deal with it when it's part of like Mexican food.
If it's mixed in well with it and isn't like, you know, a fucking like spoonful of it, it's okay because it adds its own flavor to it.
I just need a touch.
This is unacceptable. I picked out an entire goddamn garden in my soup. Ugh. But I'll have to try Vietnamese cuisine sometime.
It's so
I had
good.
some friends that went to Vietnam once, and they loved it.
It's got like, you can get it. I like the one with pork, and it's got some pork, and it's got some these vegetables that are like crunchy but a little sour, and it's served warm. It's so nice.
I love how
it's so different. Like you would think the way when I first heard about it, I was like, that doesn't sound good at all, but it tastes so nice.
I love how I basically handed the reins off to you for our next article, and we talk about Vietnamese cuisine. That was a setup, man. That was a setup.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry. Oh man.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Speaking of,
we're past that point. Just force it through. Choke it down, man.
Okay, so recently a biscuit that has survived the sinking of the Titanic has been described as the most expensive in the world and has sold for 15,000 pounds, English pounds, at auction.
Okay, so translated, it's not biscuit is cracker.
Food from the Titanic.
So a cracker for us Yanks, fucking Yankees.
It's a
not the
cracker.
Baseball team. Us, we're Yankees. It's fucking cracker sold.
It's a ritzy cracker. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like one of those like straight up like terrible tasting like flour things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like it was stamped, like with the bottom of a shoe or something. It's just, ugh.
So apparently, it was at an auction. It sold for £15,000, and it sold for 5,000 more pounds than it was expected to go for. So
Wow.
Whoever bought that fucking cracker got he got gypped for a lot of reasons, but being out 5,000 pounds more than you expected, that's a different kind of shame.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's a cool little artifact, though.
It is Titanic memorabilia, but just keeping in mind that a photo of the iceberg that was sold the same day went for £21,000. I don't know how to feel about this.
15,000 pounds is in US dollars right now 23,143.
Well, I guess you get the distinction of having the world's most valuable cracker. I guess
you pay over $20,000 for that.
You know what?
cracker.
I'm going to give the British the benefit of the doubt here, because you don't spend 23,000 American on a cracker. You spend it on a biscuit.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of strange, but it's not like it's going to go bad. It's lasted so far.
Yeah, it's lasted so far. It's been underwater for this long, so it didn't disintegrate, which I think is a wonder in itself.
Mm-hmm. And it's not it's just as good as a coin or anything else from the ship. You know what I mean?
I suppose so.
Token.
It kind of reminds me of Futurama.
Yeah.
When hold up, what's going on in the background? Vacuuming?
Oh no, hold on, my computer, I guess, is becoming warm. Here, let me put this fan in. Okay, it should get quiet in a second.
You know, I'll just do some noise removal later. All right, let's back it up.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this reminds me of Futurama, when Fry bought the last known anchovies for like $1 million or $1 jillion, and he ended up eating them on a pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great.
You really do? No.
I wouldn't
want to eat the most valuable biscuit in the world. I would basically... I don't even know what I would do with it. You can't put it on display.
It just has that other value of, like, still being food that you can eat. If you ever need it.
Can you imagine surviving an apocalypse, like nuclear explosion, and you're like, we gotta have something to eat. How about this biscuit? It's all that's left. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, well, currency has collapsed. Let's eat the world's most valuable biscuit.
I mean, at some point, it's gonna be eaten. Or destroyed, I guess. I don't know. That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy on its own. It's crazy on its own. It's like eating the world's most valuable burger.
Yeah.
Which I think goes for like $666.
Yeah. It's. I think.
Or I think
they,
or drinking the world's
gold
most
on it or something. They do something crazy.
Yeah, there's like it's like gold plated and all of that.
It comes with like a bracelet.
I think the world's most valuable drink, I remember reading one time, was basically just like top shelf liquors and all of that, but they threw a fucking jewel into it. So the drink itself wasn't all that valuable. It was the jewel inside that they threw in.
I think there's like a vodka or something that comes with like a diamond in it. It's such a weird, I don't know.
Well, I know.
I guess if you like
Goldschlager, is that what it's called?
That's
with the gold flakes.
flakes.
But even then, that one's affordable. Like, you can say you're drinking gold, but it's like, all right, well, it's Gold Flake, and it's right next to Tito's vodka. I find that weird. They still put in like expensive ingredients, and yet it's still not the best thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it appeals to a certain demographic.
Yeah,
some people just like to be flashy, you know.
Or some people just want to try something just for the hell of it.
Yeah, and it's like one
like
of those...
knowing how I would eat a burger or drink a drink.
It's a pretty
that
cool
would be
thing.
wasted on me.
It's like Goldschlager, like to see like, you know.
Yeah,
I know
effect. I know it's basically like just for the glamour of it. Like, ooh, I mean, I'm drinking gold. But a gold-plated burger that goes for $600, knowing that I can wolf down a burger in less than a minute, I don't know if I would be able to restrain myself.
I think it wasn't like... I remember this. It wasn't like a regular burger even. It was just very like...
Yeah, it was very glamoury.
Like, it had this crazy, expensive, weird cheese you would never put on a burger on it. And like, the meat was some kind of crazy meat. And it was like a bunch of things assembled to resemble a burger that were all just really expensive ingredients or something.
Let me see. Chef creates world most expensive burger, and I remember like the picture of it was like basically a Whopper spray painted gold.
Oh my gosh!
Okay, all right. It was Wagyu beef with gold coated buns, lobster, black truffle brie. That was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, people have raved about Wagyu beef to me. Wagyu beef. The gold-coated buns would basically just make my fillings explode. And I don't even like brie cheese. So yeah, I would basically just hate this burger.
Yeah.
God, that would be wasted on me. Shit.
Not my deal.
Not my deal, man. Not my deal. Give me Checkers any day of the week. That wasn't a suggestion. Please just do that. Someone adopt me, keep me as a house pet, and feed me Checkers.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's move on to another part of the world. We've gone from London. We've gone from Britain. Let's go to Guatemala. So for this isn't enough to stave off my political junkie tendencies, but it's still one of those nice little things. A Guatemalan comedian has won the presidency in a landslide. So he's a former TV comedian. He's never held office, and he milked public anger over a corruption scandal and basically just used that to win. His name is Jimmy Morales.
So he's an opportunist, huh?
Yeah, if Trump...
It's similar to what's going on here. Yeah.
I want to say if Trump basically pointed out all of the bad things Obama did, he would be winning, but I think that's what's happening anyway.
Well,
right?
He's just very, like... I think
he is also a very charismatic person, so...
Yeah, like the other candidates are kind of... You know, he's just, like, very flamboyant and very loud, and, like, it's entertaining, but then people start to, like, you know, respect him and everything, and it's strange.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. Yeah, later. We haven't discussed the debates at all in this show. We're not going to start now.
Man, it's craziness.
So let's see here. So he won with 68% of the vote, as part of the center-right National Convergence Front, or the FCN, if you're in Guatemala. Let's see here. Voters pointed to a widespread discontent with Guatemala's political class, compounded by a UN-backed investigation. Holy shit! Into a multi-million-dollar customs racket. Wow. Crap.
What was getting through customs? Wow. They're just basically like.
But the fact that a comedian did... Like, the last time a comedian ran for president, like, no one voted for... I think it was Roseanne Barr. Did Roseanne run for president?
Maybe. It sounds kind of familiar.
Because we definitely had, like, a comedian run for mayor of New York when, it was, like, before de Blasio. It was when Jimmy McMillan was running. Remember this? They were like piggybacking off of his "rent is too damn high" statements. It's like, oh, I'm a comedian. The rent is too damn high. So he was basically Jimmy Fallon in his country. He quit his TV show, which centered on skits and lewd jokes, to run for presidency. So imagine Jimmy Fallon running for president. Not even Colbert. Colbert committed to that pundit character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, you know what? His advantage is that he's already well known, and so he's just familiar to people. He's more familiar than these other people, and...
Like Trump.
Yeah. So, like Donald Trump has been on his TV show for years, and, like, people know him.
He was already a household name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the casinos.
Yeah, even before, he had the show. He was, like, this known figure, and...
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if we already had an actor as president, like, why not a comedian somewhere else? Just goes to show, you too can run for president.
I just do not want Donald Trump to be, like, the person that represents our...
Yeah,
I feel like it's just gonna hammer in the point. Like,
well, dude,
Americans
there
are allowed. And...
There's a large fraction of people that will disagree with you and think he's the best person.
Sure.
So
that's okay.
Well, the only way you can combat that is vote.
Fair, you know. Yeah.
That's what you got to do, man. You can't just fucking grumble about it.
No.
In fact, I've been entertaining this idea of when it's closer to the primaries. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to if I like actually decide to do this. I'm going to make a YouTube video, and I know the only way that people will get it is if I do something ridiculously stupid. So I'll open up with this whole go out and vote. If you say our system's broken, it's because like we haven't been voting at full capacity. We've only gotten like 50% of people out doing it. So please do so. And then I'll probably just eat a ghost pepper.
What?
Yeah, because well, think about it. Like that's the.
I was with you up until that last part. That's just
dude, come on. How many people are going to just sit there? If you're not famous, no one's going to listen to you saying go and vote.
Yeah. Because
that's a responsible thing. You gain traction by doing something inherently stupid.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like that's how some people go viral, man. They do something like eat a ghost pepper. And if one person votes because of that, I would consider that a victory. A very dumb victory, and like a very lost the battle but won the war kind of feel. But that's a victory.
Ooh.
Now I just got to find out where I would actually get a ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper, you're going with the hot pepper route. Oh boy.
Well, hey, dude.
You can. I'm sure you can find one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's proper avenues. Now that I've said it out loud, I don't know how good of a idea it is.
I don't know.
It's worth a shot.
I'll watch it.
It's worth it. Yeah, you'll watch it. Hopefully, other people will watch it and share it. But it has to have. Like, think of how much traction the ice bucket challenge got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many people did that.
Yeah.
And those videos got views, man. I assume. I don't know how many unpopular people got hundreds of views.
I don't think eating a spicy pepper and saying, now I'm going to tag 5 people and tell them to eat spicy peppers. No.
Definitely not going to spread it that way.
I don't think that's ever going to work.
That would definitely not happen. If I actually decide to do that, I would have to see how I feel after I ate the pepper. Like, would I wish this on my worst enemy? Yes. Okay, then you do this. Oh shit. Oh fuck. And you know what? There are people in tears after eating that. There are people like legit crying.
Yeah, it's very intense pain.
I can like I ate the griller from Taco Bell that was supposedly ghost pepper and nothing. So maybe this is like that false sense of confidence after that.
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be much...
It's going to be worse. It's going to be terribly worse.
Ooh.
And even if it's not that bad, I still have to give a show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. I don't know.
I ate some hot peppers once, and, like, I didn't touch my eyes or anything, but I just rubbed... Like, my forehead started to sweat, so I rubbed it with my hand. And my forehead, like, burned for the next half hour.
Oh,
It was
shit,
so
dude.
like, oh, they were really hot, but they were still pretty good.
Oof. All right. You want to do one last one?
Let's do it.
So, in U.S. and Canada news, this was, I think, reported in. Oh, look at that, England again. An infamous 85-year-old U.S. jewel thief was arrested again. Oh, okay, so this wasn't America. This wasn't America. For some reason, it's just lumped in with... Why is this being translated to pounds? Anyways, 85-year-old American jewel thief who has been on a stealing spree for more than 60 years has been charged with theft yet again. Her name is Doris Payne, and she was arrested for allegedly pickpocketing $690 earrings from a Saks Fifth Avenue store in the Atlanta suburbs.
Is that?
She's already known, dude. She was profiled in a documentary in 2013. She's already been to prison for this shit.
Pickpocketing, as in someone had it in their pocket? Like
No,
they
just
bought it?
did I say pickpocketing? I think it just meant pocketed. She just took the earrings.
So she...
If someone's able to pickpocket an earring off of someone, that would be fucking impressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like a watch, you could like just sort of glide off their finger, glide off their hand if you know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But an earring, you have to like precisely just like slip it out without anyone noticing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like jewel thief. I feel like you have to I think you have to be good to be called a jewel thief. I don't know. I feel like this is just some.
Well, I imagine like
jewelry.
the black turtlenecks and like the earpiece receivers and the fucking spray and acrobatics to get away from the lasers.
Like, I feel like if she like was on the run for 20 years and like had a string of successful jewel thief opportunities that she seized, I don't know. Like for her to like try, I don't know. Jewel thief. Okay.
Apparently it's a rare thing because I guess it must be a rare thing if you've been doing it for 60 years. But the Jewelers Security Alliance, which is an industry trade group, sent bulletins warning stores about her as early as the 1970s. So she has been like in the jeweler's eyes for over 40 years.
Why do you think she persists?
How do you even continue doing that after that time?
Yeah, why do you think she decides like I got caught stealing jewelry? Let me like steal some more jewelry. Like,
oh, they're probably thinking that, oh, you know what, that was a flop. That was a
again.
hiccup. I wasn't doing it perfectly this time.
I guess I wonder how often she's gotten away with it though, because maybe it just pays off enough for her.
Yeah, well, I guess, let's see, she has used 22 aliases since she stole her first diamond when she was 23. I don't know how many times she was convicted. So,
Interesting.
Yeah. But now when you're 85, I guess like the lawyer is trying to get you off because you're senile. Or you can't serve time because you're gonna die in prison.
I don't know, man. She's done it so much, and she's still doing it.
Well, you gotta be an expert after that. If you were stealing gems for 60 years and you're not considered an expert, there's something very wrong.
I don't know. Like, how can you be old enough to not
to
go
still
to jail,
do that?
but you're still stealing? Like, I feel like if you're still able to steal jewelry, you should still be able to go to jail.
Well, it's not like fucking murder, man.
I don't know.
If you're still old enough to murder someone, you're still old enough to go to jail.
What's she doing though?
But like, you could easily just walk out of a store with earrings and be like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't realize they were still on my head. Here you go."
Yeah. I don't know. This woman.
Wait, what was that?
She has never learned.
What was that movie? Shit. There was a scene from, I don't know if it was animated or if it was regular, but it was like, whose earring is this? And this guy's just like, it's mine, but your ears aren't pierced. And he's like forcing it in there like just jamming it in there, and it's like a bloody scene. Just like, see, it's mine. I think he was probably covering for something. Shit, what was that? I will give so many props to someone who has listened this long and is able to find that out for me. Please, this is gonna kill me for the rest of the day. Speaking of which, I actually better get going.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever it is that feels natural after listening to this show. We could definitely appreciate the buzz, so please share this if you liked it. And yeah. Definitely. I guess enjoy your week.
Happy Halloween today.
Oh, and if all goes well and we don't fuck up recording, there's going to be a new segment about politics. Because debates are happening, elections are happening, and I am so fucking pumped. So be sure to tune into that.
Awesome.
Alright. See y'all later.
Bye.